officially begin in November 1975 after years of negotiation. For a long time, Thailand, which used to be called Siam, was a very strong and loyal Sino-Pacific country. China was usually greatly respected in Siam and ensured the alliance of both countries. However, after แปด พิบูลสงคราม attempt to erase and prohibit Chinese relations were seriously damaged. A power struggle between the United States and China may be occurring because of the escalating presence of both in Thailand. China remains as an important ally to Thailand, partly because of its influence and prominence in the region. In 2013, the Comprehensive Strategic Cooperative Partnership between the People's Republic of China and the Kingdom of Thailand continue to deepen. The two countries maintain close cooperation in regional and international cooperation mechanisms such as the United Nations, APEC, 10+1, ASEAN plus China, 10+3, ASEAN plus China plus Japan, and the Republic of Korea, and Asia Cooperation Dialogue. Then, back to the question, improve Thai-Chinese relations based on our group opinion. Within the aspect of economic between Thailand and Chinese, especially in terms of tourist sector has a high potential to be improved, and Thailand would receive a high benefit and advantage out of it. We would like to improve the Thai-Chinese relation through the improvement of service quality provided to the Chinese tourist who is going to be the top tourist market in the world after has COVID-19 situation getting better to create highest tourist satisfaction during their traveling in Thailand.
Overview of Thai tourism. Thailand relies heavily on tourism introductory estimates of tourism revenue directly contributing to the GDP of 12 trillion baht range from of trillion baht in 2013, 2.53 trillion baht in the 2016, the equivalent of 9% to 17.7% in the GDP when including indirect travel and tourism received the 2014 total to the estimate to be equivalent of 2.5 trillion baht of Thailand GDP. Chinese and Thai tourism. In 2014, 4.6 million Chinese visitors traveled to Thailand. In 2015, Chinese tourism number 7.9 million or 27% of all international tourists arrived. 29.8 million, 8.75 million Chinese tourists visit Thailand in 2015. In 2017, 77% of the tourists that come to Thailand come from China. Thailand relies heavily on Chinese tourists to meet its tourist revenue targets of 2.2 trillion in 2015 and 2.5 trillion in 2016. Thailand economy is expected to be impacted severely by the COVID-19 pandemic, shrinking by at least 5% in 2020 and taking more than 2 years to the return to the pre-COVID-19 GDP output levels. According to the World Bank's latest Thailand Economy Monitor, the COVID-19 pandemic shocked the economy, especially in the second quarter to 2020, and had led already to widespread job losses, affecting middle class household and the poor alike. An estimate 840 million workers will lose employment on income by the COVID-19 crisis, which had put many jobs, in particularly those related to tourism and service at risk. The report finds that the number of economically insecure or those living below USD 5.5 per day is projected to double from 4.7 million people in the first quarter to 9.7 million people in the second quarter of 2020. In particular, the share of economically the secure middle class household with workers in the manufacturing and service sector will rise by threefold from 6% to 20%.
Rationales. Objective: create a stronger relationship between Thai and Chinese through tourism sector. Mission: create the best communication understanding between supply and Chinese tourists. Create a good relationship between Thai and Chinese related tourist business. Make a collaboration between Thai and China government. Create a high satisfaction of Chinese tourists. The relationship of our topic is based on following key factors. Thailand relies heavily on Chinese market. In 2019, Thailand has received 20 million of Chinese tourists, which count 30.15% of total international tourists arrived to Thailand in 2019. Amongst tourists of all nationalities, Chinese tourists is the top spender with 536,228 million baht in 2019. Chinese tourism is the top source of outbound country for worldwide. Since 2020, China is the world's largest outbound travel market. The number of outbound tourists continued to grow in 2017. Thailand is the top destination for Chinese and will remain after COVID-19. Following the data from TCIC, Thailand still be the top destination to travel for Chinese tourists after COVID-19, with 55% for Chinese are willing to travel to Thailand the most. From the data above, we can see that Chinese and Thai has strong relationship in tourism economic, as Thai rely on Chinese and Chinese love to travel Thailand as they love the culture, etc. and the receive of Thailand. Hence, we would like to use this opportunity to improve the relationship between Thailand and China, as we have a strong advantage and potential from this sector.
Next, budget. Item Chinese for communication card for SME business. 24-month price 20,000, total 480,000. Workshop for business collaboration. Unit 6 months price 200,000, total 1,200,000. Public event for tourist activity 36 months price 1,500,000, total price 9 million. Research of Chinese markets until 8 months, price 500,000, total 4 million. Workshop for hospitality worker and unit 8 months, price 100,000, total price 800,000. Management price 5 million thousand, total price 5 million thousand. Advertising price 5 million thousand, total price 5 million thousand. That all total 60,480,000 for 2-year plan. Next, working plan. This project has a plan to be completed within 2 years. The detail and timeline for the plan is as following. All plan will be according to the tick in the amount as shown in your picture.
Expected results: the growth of Chinese visitors to Thailand per year. In the end of projects, we are expecting the number of Chinese visitors to Thailand will increase from year to year. The positive feedback from both review on the social media and word of mouth from Chinese tourists. We expecting we expect the tourist exposure of Chinese tourists would be increased at the end of the project. Most cooperation of Thai and Chinese tourist business. The cooperation between Thai and Chinese business sector would allow Thai to learn and exchange the knowledge, skill and technology with the China. Better understanding of Thai through Chinese tourists.